Oh my goodness. That,
I'm about 3 hours north of New York City.
3 hours? Yeah.
Yes, and about 3 hours from Boston.
Okay. Good. Is that city you mentioned, is that an Indian name?
I guess so. I
Sounded
think
like it.
so because because we were all it was Connecticut was all where I'm around the area I'm in. They used to take and grow a lot of tobacco and everything else. And most of the street names in towns around do take and come from Indians.
Yeah. Right. Makes sense. We've got a lot of the Native American Indian names in Florida as well for things that they settled here too, which is good. All right. Well,
The 2 year one of the colleges I took and graduated from, you heard us say one of them is the name of it is as Nuntuck Community College,
yeah.
and it means like something about like rolling water or something like that.
Right. Right. Their names always mean something. Always has some natural meaning to it, which is interesting. We have a city here in Florida called Okahumpka, which is kind of a fun one to say. Okahumpka.
When my friend who taken lives in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, they're
Yeah.
taking basically many taking basically names taken like that.
Yeah. That's a big, I think there's a reservation out there.
Yes, there is.
Mhm. All right. Well, it's you and me. We're going to jump into this. So you get to interact with me as we go along. And
So I get to take and basically be a pain in your bottom,
you're
hoping
not. You are not that. You are a great student. Always have a lot to add to class. So that's good. So this class is called Business Idea Brainstorming. All right. You can see that. And we're going to kind of just do some brainstorming. But I've got a couple things to kind of kick it off initially. You've been in many of my classes, and you know how to get recordings. So let's jump in. All right. So here's my agenda for this class. We're going to talk about hobbies and businesses, 4 elements of a business, how to identify your business, and then we'll do a little brainstorming session to wrap up. Sound good? All right. So to start
sounds
with,
good to me.
sounds good. Okay. All right. What would you describe a hobby? How do you define a hobby?
Oh, something that you take and gain a lot of pleasure taking for. Like I love to cook, but I would not work in a restaurant.
Right. Right. Yeah. So it's usually something you really enjoy, but you don't usually get paid for it, right? There's like you can do it or not do it. It doesn't really matter. Like nobody's looking to you to do it. If you do it for your own pleasure, that's great. If you decide to not do it, nobody's like on you about it. Nobody's expecting you to do
Nope.
it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So like I have a hobby of cycling and exercise, but I don't get paid to do it. It'd be great if I did, but I don't. And so if I don't get out and ride my bike, no big deal. There's nothing to it. And so hobbies, there's not a lot of pressure and stress on a hobby, usually. All right, but when you move over to a business, then what would characterize that or distinguish that from a hobby from a business?
You're forced to take in and do a lot of taking and work whether you want to or not.
There's a little more accountability built into it, right? There's other people
Oh
counting on
yeah.
you. Yeah, yeah. People are looking to you to do something, whether it's show up and put your time in, or create something, or serve them, or whatever it is they expect you to do. If you don't do it, you don't get paid. You can't just kind of turn it on and off. You have to fully commit to kind of say you're going to do it or not do it, right? You can't really dabble with it so much. It's got too many expectations tied up around it.
And
But
if you're married and don't work, then your spouse will get you a doghouse and a what do you call those things? A sleeping bag.
right, or your own sofa to sleep on somewhere else. Yeah,
If
that's
you're so
right.
lucky.
If you're lucky. Right, right. So this business thing is important. So when we think about creating new businesses or even looking at existing businesses, people sometimes misunderstand how businesses are kind of the components of a business. And when they go start thinking about created a business, they may start with a hobby and then try to think about how do I make this a business, or could I make this hobby a business? And the reason they do that a lot of times is because they enjoy the hobby and they want to say, well, maybe I can make some money doing this.
But
And that's
here's my thinking. But here's my question. The thing is there's lots of things that I am good at. I like to do, but I don't want to grow to take and hate it with it, taking in passion and feel it's a chore. So I
uh,
mean, it's a teeter totter, isn't it?
right, right, yeah. Because when it flips over from a hobby to a business, now it's a different ball game, right? That's what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah,
That's correct.
right. Yeah, and some hobbies you just want to keep them hobbies. You don't want to ruin them.
Well,
Right.
what they say, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Good. So in my experience with businesses, I see there's Gail. Hey Gail.
So, hi.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, Gail.
Carol Sue is getting a private class, but now the two of you get a private class.
Uh,
Glad you're here.
I just got to my childhood, so I'm taking out real fast.
Okay. All right. All right. So we just talked about a hobby, something you do that you enjoy doing. You don't get paid for it. You can do it or not do it. There's no pressure on you. But a business now, it's something you have. There's responsibility and accountability to do it. And I want to share with you kind of a simple model for what I call the four elements of business. And this is really simplifying down every business you can kind of put through this grid. The four elements are: there's a customer that has a problem that needs a result, and there's some mechanism to solve that problem to get to them a result. And a lot of times what people get mixed up when they try to start a business or they try to run a business is they forget the customer and the problem, and they just focus on the mechanism. They just focus on the mechanism. And the problem then is that they lose touch with their customer. They're not getting a result for the problem, and the business doesn't make it because they're so focused on the mechanism. So let me give some examples of this. So this is it's a nonprofit organization called Rebuild, and I created this diagram to show the four different elements and how, in three different ways, the business works. So if they look at the customer of young adults in low-income communities, they have a problem. They need free local career training. So these are boys and girls, teenage, high school, college age, who need career training. And Rebuild provides that through its program of what Rebuild does is that it does training for young people to learn construction trades on real live job sites. And as they renovate or build those homes, then those homes are then sold or used for housing in that area. And the students learn life skills and trade skills, and the area attains some additional housing in that area. So when you look at the customer here, there's three customers that Rebuild has in this model. One, the young adults, the students, they get sustainable, well-paying jobs because they get paid by Rebuild to do the training and the on-the-job work. And then the residents in the area, they need affordable housing. And so Rebuild is renovating and building new houses for them to buy or rent. So it solves that problem. And then there's construction companies in the area. They have a shortage of reliable, skilled workers. So Rebuild's training and identifying students to become trained and recommended candidates for them to hire. So see how that works? So what is often the mistake is people will focus just on the mechanism and say, okay, well, we're just going to renovate houses. Well, for what, right? I mean, who's the customer? What problem are you solving? And if you meet these results, then people will pay you for what you're doing. In this case, it's a nonprofit. And so we would have people that would donate to this organization because they believe in what this is doing in this process. But let's go back and do an example. So think of a business idea that you might have, and let's try to run it through this. Or one that's already out there. It could be somebody else's business. Any ideas? Carol Sue, got any ideas? Business? Carol, so you there? You're both on mute. I can't hear anything. Gail, you there?
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
Now, what was the question? Because
So
the
the
call
question,
came in that I had to take and ignore.
no, I'm sorry. So, well, give me a business, name a business, and we're going to run it through this grid here of the different elements. See if we can break it down.
House cleaning.
House cleaning. Okay, so if somebody was going to do a house cleaning business, who would the customer be?
Almost anybody, but you have to take and target it, don't you?
Yeah. So let's say,
So it would take in either be dinks, double income, no kids, or a family.
Okay, so people with a house that need to be cleaned, right? The problem
Right.
is, yeah.
And we're in a vacation area, so a lot of houses, as I mentioned, needs to be done in between.
I didn't get that, Gail. Can you say it again?
Yeah, I just said we're along a lake in Michigan, and a lot of people rent their houses by the beach.
Okay, so you live along Lake Michigan, and people rent houses along the beach. Is that what you said?
Right,
Okay.
so they need between renters.
They need
Cleaning between
cleaning.
renters.
Okay. All right. So you're using her example of a cleaning and specifically for these houses. Yeah. Okay. All right. So in this case, we've got that we have people who have a house that needs the house cleaned and they don't have time, but they could pay somebody to do it. So then what's the mechanism to do this? What options do you have in that business model? You could do it yourself, or you could find people,
or you can hire people.
Hire people to do it, right? So you think about, as the business person, so many people limit themselves to only being, they insert themselves as the mechanism. So let's say, well, I see a need, I see customers that have a problem, but I don't really want to clean houses, so I'm not going to do that business. When in reality, they could definitely have that business and hire somebody else to do the cleaning if they can identify enough people who have a problem that will pay them for the service. See how that works?
What taking happens if people, but you see what happens if people don't take and show up. You know what I'm saying? You have to go clean, even whether you like it or not.
That's right. You got to hire good people. That's for sure. You got to hire good people. Yeah. But so often people limit what their capabilities are just by what they're able to deliver as the mechanism. Well, I can't do everything. I mean, but if I see some real obvious opportunities of people, if I can identify customers and solve their problem, then I have a business. That's kind of what I'm showing. Because you can outsource or find people to do the mechanism. You don't have to personally do the mechanism yourself.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you think about people who, like, maybe they have a physical handicap and they're not able to do physical work. Well, it doesn't mean they can't have a business where they hire people to do the work, and they're able to, with their sharp mind, be able to find customers and coordinate the service and get it done. Right? Okay. So let's talk about how, let's talk a minute about how you could find what business you want to do. And then we're going to do some brainstorming some more with some ideas for you guys. All right. So a lot of people just get stuck like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know, what I should be doing, whether it's a new career or they lost a job or they're thinking about they want to have their own business. So to identify your business, I want you to focus on kind of three things here. We all have talents and skills. You know the difference between talents and skills? Any idea what the difference between a talent and a skill?
The talent, something that's natural, and a skill is something about yourself.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. You're right on, Gail. Yeah, talents are we're born with them, kind of God-given talents. You have them. Not everybody has the same talents, but skills are things that you can learn and develop. And the good news is there's a lot of skills we can learn. So we're not stuck with what we're born with. We can develop and develop skills. So there's that. And then our passion. Our passion is the work that you love to do. Some people are all about, just find your passion and, you never work a day in your life. Well, there's, it's a little more complicated than that, right? I mean, but passion does help because when you're doing something you're passionate about, something that you love to do, then every job, every business has hard days. And when you're passionate about it, it really helps you push through those hard days. So it doesn't mean that everything is sunshine and roses all the time, but when you're passionate for something, you have a little bit more stick-to-itiveness, a little more determination, and because you love what you're doing. And then the third part of this would be your mission. This is something that you're trying to produce or create to meet a need or desire that's out there. And I think this is, somebody might call it your calling. It's your mission. It's like, what do you want to accomplish or do kind of in life? And I think if you can align these three things, then you can identify meaningful work and a business that you would be interested in working in. So if you were to look at these three things, and it helps you a little bit more as you do your work. Carol Sue, are you retired now, or are you working at some?
No, I am taking basically retired, but I take and basically have, I do take and have degrees. I just don't know what to take and basically do because I do have talents. I do take and have skills that I picked up, and I notice overlap both. But the thing is, I don't want to take and turn something that is, my baby into something that I dread getting up in the morning. So it's hard for me to break down, you know what I'm saying? Or they can decipher, if you will, what to do. I mean, I know it's more, as far as like location, test market, everything, but the question is it's that teeter-totter that I'm stuck on.
Yeah. So do you, your talents and skills, looking back that you have, do you want to keep using those, or do you have a desire to kind of go in a new direction as far as talents and skills?
I'm not sure. I'm not taking basically sure. I'm taking basically still licensed. I'm still licensed in the state. I mean, I keep up on all the journals, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's just that I I don't know. I just don't know. It's, as I said, they used to take and tell me, poop or get off the pot. But the thing is, I changed it. I changed it to a teeter-totter because it's cleaner.
I got both visuals. That's right. So your license is what? What is your license in?
I'm taking basically have a degree in human services, and I'm also taking have a certificate in nursing.
Nursing. All
yes.
Right.
And 3/4 of the way taken through a literature degree. I was going to take that was going to be my pre-law taking basically thing, because my brother told me that I could argue with a white picket fence and win.
So, I would guess that traditional nursing, you don't want to get back into that, I'm guessing.
No, but everybody calls me up instead of Dr. Google.
Right. So you're more of kind of a wellness consultant, in a sense.
In a sense, yes.
All right, because you're good with people and helping people. You like helping, encouraging people, right?
Yep, that's true.
Okay, so you've got the skill for people and talking, and you can. Arguing the white picket fence, we could make that as a positive thing. Like you're persuasive. You're.
No, that is taken and true. Yes, I get people to shut up.
Right. So you have people calling you already? People call you about health things?
Oh yeah, and I do a lot of health teaching, over the phone, within taking basically reason. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, certain taking things, and everybody gets angry. No, that is beyond my scope. You need to take and call your doctor.
Yeah, right. Were you a CNA, an RN, LPN? What were you?
No, I'm an LPN, and I've been licensed since 1980.
All right, good. Okay. Well,
and I have done every kind of nursing from womb to tomb.
Ooh, I'm sure. Well, I mean, there's a big need there. I mean, that's especially for seniors, right? I mean, they need advocacy. They need um, patient advocacy, and that comes in lots of different ways that you could provide that for people and do as much or little of it as you wanted, right?
No, that's true.
Right. So you think about, I mean, in your case, that customer would be, anybody, let's say you targeted just, you know, people over 60 or something, and people that had health issues going on. Their problem is they're confused by all the healthcare. Who do I trust, right? Is the doctor telling me the truth, or is the nurse telling me the truth? A lot of times they don't have family who advocate for them, right? They need somebody who knows enough to kind of advocate.
That would be helpful in my mom's situation.
Say again?
I said that would be real helpful with my mom's situation.
You're
So
right.
nobody lives there, and it would be wonderful to have someone go to doctor's appointments with her, and then
Right.
write everything down, summarize it for her, and then send it to family.
Yeah. Did you hear what she said, Carol Sue, about helping kind of a lot of folks have family out of town, and the kids want to know what's going on, but the senior can't really articulate what the doctor said and be able to communicate that with the family. So if there was somebody that would help that process. Is that interesting to you at all? I'm just, as we brainstorm, I'm just kind of trying to connect some dots for you. Carol Sue?
I have a friend who goes to the doctor, and she just taken, and because she doesn't understand, and she is just shakes her head up and down, and then and she says, I don't understand what in the world they took and said. I don't understand my medicines. And on top of that, the thing is if I try to take and write down what they say, they speak too fast. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I think I have to slow them. I have to slow the roll speaking sometimes too,
Yeah. Yeah. So are you able to help some of those people like that?
Oh yes, that's most of the taking basic phone calls I take and basically get. And then the other thing, what do I do? I mean, where should I go for XYZ situation?
Yeah.
And then I take and basically tell them.
Well, right now you're doing this, but you're doing it for free.
Yes, I am.
What do you think people would pay for that?
I don't know. The thing is, I don't take a note because I never, how they call it, research. I don't even take a note if anybody does that.
What I think if it was clear to them what they were getting for the cost, then it would be easier for them to subscribe. I see that as a kind of a subscription type service, where for a certain amount a month they have access to you to help them with appointments and understanding what the appointments or what the doctor said, and then kind of summarizing it and then being able to share that with their family if they want to.
Well, that does make sense.
Right.
And that would also take and leave, taking my secret passions, that I really enjoyed doing, instead of turning it into taking basically something I hate.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want to, it connects your talents and passions together a little bit. And, I don't know, how would you describe your personal mission? What do you think is most fulfilling to you? What's something that you feel like you're here on earth to get done?
Well, the thing is this. I always have taken people health education, and then because and not only in humans but also taken basically in pets too. So I mean there is an overlap.
Yeah.
I mean, medicine is medicine. It's just
Right.
different size.
Yeah. Right. And so you can protect yourself. You're not doing medicine. You're just kind of interpreting what the healthcare providers are telling them so that they can understand it and share it with use it for themselves and share it with their family so they know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And you're able to do that because you have the experience, all the years of experience as an LPN doing that. Yeah.
You should have seen my taking in nursing cap. It looked like a combination of Dumbo and the Flying Nun.
I bet you got some good pictures of that, huh?
No,
Oh,
those were burned.
oh, those were burned. Those are burned. Okay. All right. Well, that would be, I think that'd be kind of neat if people, Gail, what would you think people would pay for that kind of service that I described? What would they pay a month if they were to provide, if they had somebody that could, um, be able to translate a little bit what the doctor said and their medicines and what they prescribed them to do, and be able to put that in writing and in kind of language that people would understand so they could understand it themselves and then share it with their family. Gail, you there? You're on mute.
Yeah. Those, on monthly basis, I don't know. Usually they do it hourly.
Hourly?
And it's an hourly minimum. Like I think it's 3 hours. And it might be $25 an hour.
How much?
25 to 30.
75?
No, 25.
25. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, Carol Sue, the friends that call you right now, how often are they going to the doctor in a month? Did they call you, like, is it a weekly thing or is it going like once a month?
It all taken basically depends. I take and have one person who aggravates the stew out of me, but I'm nice as sunshine. And on average, they take them basically about 2 or 3 times a month. And then the other one, the other person, she's taken she's had strokes and memory taking problems, so she ask me the same questions all the time. And I just keep reinforcing what I already have taught her.
Yeah.
But the other one, well, the thing is, I roll my eyes when that phone rings, but I pick it up and be sunshiny.
So they're talking to you 2 or 3 times a month? Is that about what you're averaging?
Yeah, about that.
Okay. All right. So I don't know. I'm just trying to build, what would the mechanism be that would be affordable and then be, so Gail's saying at about $25 an hour. But I'm thinking too, the mechanism part of how do you find out, Carol Sue, what the doctor said? How do they give you the doctor's report, or how do you get that?
Well, the one that Mr. Sunshine there, he taken and reads to me over the phone what it takes and says, and then I interpret it. The other one, I have to take and be more of a detective, and have her spell down all the medicines, etc. And then I go back and explain. And then if she calls me up, can I take this medicine taken basically now? I said, you need to call your pharmacist. But anyways, the thing is she's taken very forgetful, and even if it's written down, she needs to just be reinforced because of so many strokes.
Right. So because of HIPAA, you can't get their records unless they authorize you. That's a lot of work, but that's
a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, but they have a right to ask for their record when they check out, to have it in print. And if you coach them to get that record after a visit, then they could either read it to you or, take a picture of it and send it to you, right?
Well, they don't really give a report, but they can basically taken in here when you take and basically leave. Some offices do, because I just had an appointment that did that, and then others don't. And other places, they charge you, and if you have any like x-rays or CAT scans or anything else, the thing is, you have it done today. And then the thing is, if they ask for a copy to be sent to their taken basically home, it can take up to 5 to 7 days after.
Yeah, that's crazy. they're just being lazy. They're supposed to be able to give it to you right away.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. If it's part of your service, you're advocating for them to say when they check in, hey, I'm going to let them know before the appointment starts. I want a printout of the summary of my visit when I leave, and kind of set that expectation on the front end with their doctor, so that the nurse knows, hey, this gets put in the chart. We're going to print it out and give it to them. So I know it's all. I mean, it's all in their EMRs. They have it all there. They just got to print it out, right? So that could be that.
I have had a couple taken basically doctors that had been up front. And they put up there that it could take 24 to 36 hours for your visit summary to take and be put into your EMR.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and it's crazy. That's why I live in a state of confusion called Connecticut. The rules now. Here's what happens in a lot of places: the rules change to suit people's needs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and it's not the health the patient's needs too often. It's usually the provider's needs.
Of course.
Or the regulator or the administrators. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, is that there's something there, right? If somebody said, hey, I don't know, let's say you're given I think Gail's right. You got to kind of manage the hours a little bit, so you don't have that guy who calls you every day to ask if it's time to take his medicine. You don't want that situation. But more of on a less frequent, they get so many calls or so many consults with you in a month, and they pay a monthly fee for that. The family may say, hey, yeah, this is really helpful because we're getting information we were never getting because mom or dad doesn't know what to tell us. Right? That's a thing. So the customer may not be the patient, the senior patient. It may be their family.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Do you have access to any of those type of families, Carol Sue, that they have maybe the children of the older parents that would want that service?
The word of mouth advertising, that's how taking basically everybody taking phones. But yeah, that's how everybody basically ends up ringing, taking basically up. So
is it their kids that come to you and say, hey, can you help my mom or dad, or is it
no,
mom or dad?
Actually it's actually they're taking the patients because they don't want to appear to be quote dumb in front of their whoever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you provide them confidence and clarity as far as Carol Sue's confident, clear record understanding or something like that, right? I mean, you're providing a service there to help make the confusing. You're making it unconfusing for them.
Yes, because I take and break it down to what to have that another person could take and basically understand it. That that you don't need all those big words. Here's the taking thing. The thing is, if you have a gallbladder attack, okay, what you're going to take and say, oh, you have cholangitis. They're going to say, what? The thing is, no, honey. The thing is, you're having a gallbladder attack.
Right.
What's happening.
Right. Yeah, they don't need the medical term. What's the basic term? Yeah. Right. You had a contusion. Oh, that sounds awful. It's just a bruise. It's okay. Right. Well, good. Well, Gail, how about you? What business idea do you have for you?
I haven't decided yet. My this and I'm not administrative. I can take anything and break it down. A lot of continuous quality improvement type stuff. Get familiarity with social media. And I love photography, so I'm trying to say, okay, my biggest issue is the communication.
So you like photography and you're really administrative, right? That's what you said?
Okay.
Yeah. What kind of photography do you do? What types of photography?
More landscape.
Landscape?
Yeah, just with the lights here. So I thought about doing like note cards or postcards. Remember the local yacht club to see if they would even sell them in packs of 5.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm just starting to think about it.
Okay. All right.
And administratively, I mean, that stuff is so easy to me. It's like, why don't you understand this? But so I tend to do a lot of, so an example, the yacht club last year, I pushed them to get on constant contact for the newsletter, pushed them to sign up Genius for events. So just constantly, I love connecting people. I love improving things. A lot of times, my old job at the church, I connected the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
So I have this I don't want anymore, and then finding a local charitable organization that needed that item or volunteer help or whatever. So, yeah.
Right. That's
But
great.
I don't know how that translates into a business.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you like to write? Are you, you mentioned the newsletter. Do you like to write, or do usually they give you the content?
I will some, but it's not my strength.
Okay. How about, I mean, using, did you say Constant Contact? Is that what you used?
Yeah.
You know how to use that pretty well?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with that.
Right. Okay. All right. So there's companies that need ways to communicate with other people. Right. I mean, so the yacht club was one example. They need to communicate to the people, their members and other people, right? That's one thing.
Right.
You've got these other maybe nonprofit organizations that you could work with that you help communicate for them by doing a newsletter. Typically they want to be able to communicate more, but they don't have the time to put it all together and get it out.
That's true. Yeah.
So you could help with that, put together a monthly calendar or something for them and say, okay, here's when I need this information, map out the quarter of the year, whatever they need. And
so like focus on products, and because
yeah,
I love doing the photography too.
yeah, and you offer to do
that
some,
for us.
yeah, you could offer to do some of the images for them, and you just charge them. Again, if we go back to our model of customer, problem, mechanism, result, these people have information they need to get out there and communicate with other people, but they don't have the time or the ability to do it. The mechanism you have is you can do their digital newsletters for them and help plan it and collect the content, put it all together, get it all sent out for them, and help provide the illustrations or the images or the photos for it.
That's true. Yeah.
And the end result then is that they have better communication with their constituents or whoever else they're trying to reach.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think that that's you're using your administrative piece to be able to do all that, and it sounds like you're already doing. Does the yacht club pay you now?
No, I do it all on volunteer.
All right.
And last year was perfect because with the pandemic, it was a perfect time to change all the processes up.
Yeah. So you could create simple processes so they can provide the content to you easily and get it all turned around and sent out every month, so they have their newsletter. Yeah, I mean, what do you think people would pay for that? What would the yacht club pay for that if you weren't doing it for free?
I have no idea. I had pushed to do it for free.
Yeah.
Just because they didn't realize the value of it originally.
So do you do it every month?
The newsletter, I got all set up, got the data transfers from the database to emails. I set up policies and procedures on all that. Now I let somebody else manage it.
Okay. Well, you kind of went in and consulted with them in a sense doing that,
Right,
right? Yeah.
right.
So that's another option. You could say, hey, I will set this up and they pay you one time to get it set up and you're going to turn it back over to them so they can do it so they don't have to keep paying for it.
Yeah, help them set up a template or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you charge them, whatever price that is worthwhile for you, and they get that process set up and automated so that it's easier for them to do if they want to do it themselves, or they can pay you to keep managing it month to month.
Yeah, the nice thing is you can do it from anywhere.
Right. Yeah. You can do it that way. And, you can use your same processes for different organizations because the process is pretty similar.
Right.
Right. Your mechanism doesn't change a whole lot. It's just the content you put in it. Yeah. So that's an idea, right?
Yep. And I have 2 testimonies I can do on that.
Yeah. Right. You can tell them, hey, I've done it. You can ask these people.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. Well, good. Well, we've talked about some real stuff, so maybe this will help you guys. But I think the big thing I want you to kind of remember is don't just focus on the mechanism that you have to do all that yourself. If you don't have a customer whose problem you're solving, they're not going to pay you anything. And so too often people focus on just the mechanism and they forget who the customer is and the problem they're trying to solve. And they might have a great thing they're good at doing, but they don't have any customers. And if you don't have any customers, you don't have any sales. You don't have any sales, you don't have any income. So it's important to keep the focus on solving the problem for the customer, because the more customers you satisfy by result, then the more customers you keep getting. So it's pretty simple, but people get it all turned around and backwards because they focus so often on the mechanism, and that doesn't get you there by itself.
Yeah, that breaks it down very nicely.
Good. All right. Any other questions for you guys?
Nope. I will have to hit the recording to see what I missed at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, you can do the replay or take it next time I teach it for sure.
I just wanted to take and say, I love your photography. It is so.
Have you gotten to see some of Gail's photography? Oh, you went on mute, Carol Sue. Has she seen some of your stuff, Gail? Do you know?
Maybe in the Friday afternoons.
Okay, maybe she
Last
has.
week we had flowers.
Yeah, right. Good.
Last week we had dogs. There's a bunch in that one.
Dogs. Yeah.
And it was at sunsets. Watch out.
You probably have a lot of sunset shots, huh?
Oh, sunrise, sunset. I love them.
Yeah. Right. Good.
Yep,
all right.
They're all beautiful.
They're good stuff, huh, Carol Sue? You can vouch for.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Kevin, what's the weather going to be down your way this weekend?
This weekend, I'll tell you. It's telling me that, let's see, where are you? Today, right now, I think it's 87.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. High 80s.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. It's going to be 92 on Monday, but high 80s. Lows in the 60s.
That's pretty good weather.
Yeah, it's nice. It's not crazy hot. It's not bad.
No, I know.
That's so pretty. It's pretty, Gail. Is that Lake Michigan?
That's kind of like that Michigan's the other direction.
Nice. It's pretty there.
72 degrees for Michigan. Yes.
That is perfect. Perfect weather. Yeah. Right. Very nice. Well, enjoy it. All right, guys, I'll send out some notes and I'll see you guys in other classes.
Thanks. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.